Sometimes people come to me and they think that once they're running ads, they don't have to do anything on the organic side. And that's just not true. And at the same time, sometimes people are running ads and they're like, you know what, the ads aren't doing anything. It's only the organic that's bringing people in. And a lot of times that's also not true. So often the organic and the paid side really truly work together to bring people in and get you more results. And so I have a client who is using Hyros, which is a platform that lets you really go in and track like every click, everything that's happening along the way with both organic and social, as long as you put some tracking on there. And what we found is, so when you first look at the results in Hyros, it shows the first click and it shows the last click before they purchased. Um, and with Facebook, when you're running Facebook ads, Facebook will basically, if somebody has clicked the link for your ad and then buys within 7 days, Facebook says, okay, we did that. That is ours. Now, other places will say, well, they were not the last click, therefore it doesn't count. And what we found with my clients' ads, because, and even Kairos won't always count that. It won't always count all the things. But we were looking at her ad results in Ads Manager, and it was showing a vastly different number from what Hyros was showing. And when we looked at the results, because we're running basically some retargeting ads where people have already engaged in some way on with her stuff. They visited her website, they have engaged with her on Facebook or Instagram, and right now we're doing it for the last 180 days. We've tested it a few different ways. We've done the last 30 days, we've done the last 60 days. Right now we're testing anybody who's engaged the last 180 days. And so when I clicked into it for several people, I found that maybe the first thing that they clicked on was organic, like an organic post on Instagram. She gets quite a bit of traffic on Instagram, not so much on Facebook. That's pretty expected for business pages. Um, so maybe they clicked on an Instagram post and then they saw the ad and then they did some other stuff and then they got an email and then they bought through the email. And that's happened multiple times. Sometimes they even saw a retargeting ad for her more expensive program. And they also saw an ad for a low ticket offer that she's selling for like $27. And then ultimately they bought not from the ad, but an organic post or an email or some other thing. And on Facebook's side, it's saying, yes, they bought because of the ad. And on the Hyros side, because the ad was not the last thing that they clicked, it was also not even the first thing that they clicked. Hyros is saying, no, they did not buy from Facebook. They bought from this other, like this email or this post or whatever. But when we really look at the funnel, the ads absolutely played a role. And so it makes sense to me that Facebook is also claiming that it did the thing. And so sometimes when people go in, I'll have clients, if they don't have all of that tracking set up, I'll have clients who might go in and look at, okay, somebody purchased a thing. I can tell they clicked on an email and then they purchased from the email. They didn't purchase from the specific link for the ads. So it's a separate thing. It does not count. But Facebook is showing, nope, somebody purchased from the ad. And that's why. That's why it's so often that is what happens. Because if they clicked on it within 7 days and they've bought, Facebook is going to claim that they are responsible for it. But so often it really is this really lovely blend of both organic and paid side working together to bring people in. It's why so often I'll say, we know that people need to see things multiple times before they make a choice. That's certainly the case for me. I was talking to another client recently who was saying how a lot of times if she doesn't like to buy things during the daytime, she wants to buy them at night. And so if she might see an ad for something, she'll go back to it later in the day to buy it once she's like settled down, she's like in a place to be able to do it. Sometimes I'll see an ad and be like, you know what, I'm like in the middle of doom scrolling and I'm about to hop on a call. I've got other stuff going on. I don't have the time. Or if I'm taking a bath and I'm on my phone, I might not have my credit card on me. Um, Stuff like that. And so a lot of times it really is like, okay, I'm going to do it later on. And then that later on might be an organic post. It might be an email. It might be another version of the Facebook ad. So it's really cool to see how that happens and how that works. And it's really such a good example of how the paid and the organic side really do work together. If you would like to talk about how paid and organic can work together for you, I would love to chat. Feel free to schedule a call. I will put a link to schedule in the description below.